Leandro Trossard in at Arsenal for a cool 27 million quid. Jakub Kiwior in at Arsenal for 21 million quid. And then in the last few hours, Jorginho from Chelsea to Arsenal, 12 million pounds. Alex Cook and Simon Jordan are with me here in studio. Have Arsenal done the right kind of business, Simon, that will take them to the Premier League title?
I don't think it's particularly exhilarating business. I think Trossard's a very good player. I think Jorginho gives them something. I mean, I know the Chelsea fans this morning on the show this morning were saying, thank God for that, we'll drive them around in a cab.
Yeah.
You know, we're getting calls coming and saying, thanks very much, it's made our day. But clearly, people have got short memories because the player was very influential for the Italian side in the European Championships. He's a good player. He'll add to the squad. And so it gives Arsenal a different option. It gives them different depth. It gives them more experience at an elite level. So it all adds to the mix.
Yeah.
Whether it's going to propel them, no, I don't think these are exciting signings that are going to propel them to the Championship. I think staying and being injury-free with key players in their team like Odegaard and Saka are the real ones that are going to give Arsenal the opportunity to steal this Championship.
They're in pole position now, though, Alex, aren't they?
I was going to say, do you know Arsenal's best piece of business this transfer window might be João Cancelo leaving Manchester City to go to Bayern Munich. You know, it's another experienced player, another winner that Manchester City have lost from their squad, having already lost Zinchenko, Gabriel Jesus. We've seen the impact they've had in North London. I think it's fascinating with Arsenal because if you look at the start of the window, it looked very different. They were all guns blazing for Mudryk. That would have been an £80 million transfer. Probably if that went through, none of these signings would have happened. Yep. Instead, they've recycled the money elsewhere. I agree with Simon. I think Trossard is an impact player. When games are tight, when it's cagey towards the end of the season, he could be a really good one to bring off the bench. Kiwior brings some depth. It will allow Gabriel to be rested as centre-back for some games. And Jorginho has that winning mentality. He's won trophies for his club. He's won trophies, as Simon's alluded to, for his country. So they've got a deeper squad now, Arsenal, than they had going into the window. And I think arguably Manchester City, their only real rivals, are weaker.
But they didn't get the one they wanted. They didn't get Moises Caicedo from Brighton, Simon. So it's a touch of Plan B, but at least they went into Plan B and gave that a shot. Yeah, and Brighton have held on to Caicedo.
I mean, you know, we will have the propensity to categorise it as Plan B, but notwithstanding that, there's an ability to be able to make deals happen. Arsenal are in a box seat; they can make deals happen. They've got the cash to do it, and they've got the lure and lustre right now. Yeah. So it makes it easier for them to do. Yeah. Now, surprisingly, they're doing it by taking players from opposition sides, but then I don't suppose Chelsea think they're in the title race, so perhaps it's not much of a concern for them. And ultimately, Chelsea can sell a player for 12 million quid and book a £6 or £7 million profit on it.
Simon, just over 10 minutes to go until the window shuts. Alex, tell us about Keylor Navas. Nottingham Forest done?
This is incredible. I mean, you talk about owners backing their managers and going big in the transfer market. This is a multi-Champions League winner. Nottingham Forest only need a stand-in because Dean Henderson is injured, and they've gone out and they've got Keylor Navas. Deal not done yet, but it's agreed between the two clubs. Navas has accepted personal terms. Again, it's a bit of a race against time because it's all developed very quickly at the end of the day. But that is another statement signing, isn't it?
I wonder, does Steve Cooper know anything about it? Hang on a second. Isn't this the fellow that signed too many players and ultimately Nottingham Forest are going to be in carnage? No, getting towards mid-table now, aren't they?
Well, how many have they got through the door? I'll tell you how many. Since the summer, that's the 28th signing
that
at
is incredible.
Forest.
That is incredible.
You ever heard anything like that?
No, but ultimately what we were told at the beginning of the season, this was outrageous. It was never going to be able to be knitted together. And ultimately you've got an owner that's far too busy for his own good and putting immense pressure on his manager who's going to be fired. A, his manager hasn't been fired. B, his team has got better, and C, they've knitted themselves together, and D, players like Jesse Lingard, which are Hollywood signings, haven't worked out.
Yeah.
So with those
we all
things
saw that coming.
Yeah, we did, didn't we? To be fair.
Did you not say, oh, hang on, it is getting a bit overcrowded at the entrance?
No, I've reserved my judgment on the basis because the big argument was how much of this does Steve Cooper know about, and you know I still maintain that he probably knew about quite a lot of it.
It's not a bad deal if you get Keylor Navas in because of Henderson's injury.
I think the big question here is what happens when Dean Henderson's fit. If Navas comes in and does well, we know all about how highly Henderson rates himself. If he doesn't come straight back into that team, that could be a headache. Deals going through all the time, Jim. Hakim Ziyech, that one's been in the offing all day. Looks like he will now move to Paris Saint-Germain on loan. I think we're seeing also Chelsea clearing out some of the old guard. Jorginho, we've talked about, has gone to Arsenal. Ziyech on the way as well. I think Cesar Azpilicueta probably in the summer will be off. One player who isn't leaving Chelsea today, though, is Conor Gallagher. Lots of interest in him. Every offer rejected by Chelsea. Conor Gallagher stays at Stamford Bridge.
That's another good bit of business by Chelsea, right?
Would Chelsea have accepted a 45 million bid from Everton?
Potentially. And again, this is what I talk about. Was that bid from Everton realistic? Were they ever going to pay £45 million? Was the money real?
I think it probably was, but I think that what they probably wanted to do was pay it over a significant period of time, and Chelsea were not interested in that.
Yeah.
But the bottom line is that Conor Gallagher would have been sold by Chelsea, but they couldn't get the price they wanted for him, and Conor Gallagher didn't want to go to Everton in the first place.
So that one didn't go through, but this one has. In the last few seconds, Pedro Porro to Tottenham from Sporting Lisbon, 40 million quid. He's in there, Alex. That one is done. So Conte, you would think, would be happy. Or happier.
Happier, I think. I think he would probably have still wanted one or two more signings. We were told at lunchtime by sources at Tottenham this would be the only significant addition today. They've signed out Dan Juma. That was a bit of a circus involving his potential move to Everton, and probably again backs up Simon's point about how hard Everton have found to recruit players. Jude Soon-Bella's come in, a youngster from Chelsea. Is that enough to keep Antonio Conte? Probably not for long.
Okay, we don't have long. 7 minutes to go until the window slams shut. It would seem the only outstanding one is the biggest one. Enzo Fernandez from Benfica to Chelsea isn't going to get done in time. Will the documents be signed off in time? You'd like to think so.
Jim White and Simon Jordan. Monday to Friday mornings from 10 on AM, on DAB, via the TalkSport app and on your smart speaker. TalkSport.